All right, I got a content request and it's for Tweety Rants. Let's take a look.
Okay, I have a natural history of going for bummy men. I don't intend to, but somehow every single time I find a man that I like, he's a bum. Okay, nothing wrong with it. I love my broke boys. I love my broke boys. I'm gonna meet you at the bottom. We're gonna work your way to the top.
Okay, so she's a natural gambler. I talk about this all the time, and girls are the greatest gamblers. Some of them care more about potential than they do a finished guy. And the reason is that lottery ticket feeling of I'm going to pick the guy that no one believes in and he's going to make it and then I'm going to be associated with that is greater in their mind and fantasy than anything else on earth. Even though the probability is generally completely stacked against them, they're still going to take that risk and cling on to that fantasy. Now, obviously, not all women are going to do this, but there is a sizable amount of them that will engage with this. Okay. And now it just comes down to are they good at discerning who's going to be successful or not? I guess that's where the lottery ticket thing comes into play. A lot of guys have the capability of becoming something and they amount to nothing. A very small percentage of them make it, and then that girl that stuck around, she essentially gets all of the good feelings and validation from having made the right choice.
Together, baby. I'm in it for the long haul, okay? At least that's the hope. But then a bum always does what bums do, disappoints, and just never works out. So I'm currently trying to change my type, but that's not the point. The point is, one time I was dating one of my bums, and at the time, I think I was kind of deluded because I didn't really realize how much of a bum he was. This man had no car, no job, no home, couldn't leave the state for federal reasons. So I mean, like, add that.
You know that guy had to have something going for him. Okay, something. I love when girls paint it like it's so obvious that she shouldn't have been with him, but there has to be, and there always is, an underlying reason why she committed to him in the first place. I just want to make this painfully clear, okay? There is too many guys out there that have infinite potential that end up completely squandering it. As I've already said, potential is a lot more valuable in many contexts than it is to have a fully complete man. Also, don't forget this key feature. You'll get way better return on potential than you will on a complete man. If you go for a complete man that already has it all, you have to give a lot more and the price is higher. If you go for a potential guy, you still might get what comes with endgame, but your upfront price is a lot lower. It's also more likely to secure you long term because a guy is very unlikely to let go of somebody that's been there his entire life. As you guys should know by now, girls love possibilities over probabilities. The idea that they picked that 1% guy amongst the masses and picked correctly is extremely intoxicating to them. The point is, this guy had something going for him. She likely won't tell us what it is, but there's definitely something going on there. Sure, he probably squandered everything and has nothing on paper, but there's something there that we just can't see.
What do you... I should have seen it. I don't know how I didn't see it. I was just love blinded. I had on my rose-tinted goggles. I went on TikTok and there was this trend going around. It was that song. It's like, I want to get drunk and nasty. I want to get... Okay, anyways. And the trend was to put, like, something about a guy, like your type or something that a guy does and blah, blah, blah. And you say, want to get drunk and nasty. And so I did that and I put, when he's a bum. And the caption said, my man. What do you think this man did? What do you think he did? He really thought, really thought I went out of my way to post that about him. I was like, bro, I'm sorry, but you're not as special as you think you are. Like, there's so many bums in my history. Like, this one wasn't about you. And
there's so many bums in my history. You post about a bum, you probably made him feel special, and now you're surprised by the fact that he's commenting on this. This is all just misused femininity. You're very clearly the main character in your own chaotic story where you want to be the hero and you do it to fulfill your own ego, but then you question why it never works out. It's all just endless fantasy spinning. Luckily for her, she's somewhat pretty, so eventually what she's going to do is probably settle for a soft guy when she gets to that 26 to 28 range, and she'll have complete control over that guy's life, but she'll have that ultimate security and she'll just create a new fantasy. I've seen this type over and over again. It's always a very similar story. High level of base attraction, a lack of a strong father figure, lives a rebellious youth, tries to pretend she can change the rules, ends up making tons of mistakes through that process, if you know what I'm trying to say, and then eventually ends up with a guy who's too nice for his own good, who really doesn't know what he's getting into. In the end of the day, of course, she scores the best deal overall. I guess the worst part about this, or the most nihilistic part of it, is that it's never going to change. Of course, I want you guys as my viewers to understand what you're getting into so you can avoid this. But in the end of the day, there's always going to be some naive idiot who's going to take this on and then complain later when it doesn't work out like you wanted it to. As long as it's not you guys, I really couldn't care less.
That I was like, I wasn't thinking about you when I made this. Like, this one wasn't about you. But I mean, like, if you're taking it personally, if the slipper fits, princess, I can't say anything.
The other crazy part is too, this new trend I'm seeing more and more now is girls coming on social media to complain and give their perspective of what happened with their relationships. Of course, as usual, you guys have seen this time and time again, but you'll see it again, and I'll say it again here. They never take responsibility for what they did wrong. In this particular case, she tried to pretend by saying that it's her fault because she likes bad guys, but then she immediately started blaming the guys anyways. So how I see it is purely just a cover up. She doesn't really care to take any level of responsibility. She's just coming in here to farm some attention.
Like, delete it. No, I'm not deleting it. Why the fuck would I delete it? It got 800 views, okay? It was the most viewed video on my TikTok account at the time. And so I said no. And he was like, my friends are sending it to me. They're saying you're cucking me. And I was like, bro, if you're a bum, you're a bum. I can't help it if I point it out. Or if you point it out about yourself on something I said about somebody else. I don't know. That was the problem.
It's funny to me because then girls wonder, why is it that guys are checking out of the game? Maybe it's because you're posting stuff about your relationship online for the whole world to see, and anybody that actually tries to figure it out can very easily connect 1 and 2 together and figure out that that's your ex-boyfriend. Put them on blast for the whole world to see, and honestly, it's really just bad behavior. I hope the 800 views was worth defaming a guy that you chose in the first place. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Don't forget to check the links in the description below.